Hey everybody, welcome to another Top 5 Tuesday. My name is Devin Pierce. I am your host here on Dad's Class. And just recently, I live streamed my own wedding. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about 5 things I learned from that. Ask for help. Due to ongoing COVID-19 restrictions, we were limited in how many people we could have at our wedding, so we kept it as small as possible. Unfortunately, that also meant that we had as little help as possible. It still would have been nicer to have someone able and capable of correcting any mistakes that did come up should something have gone wrong. And although the crash course I provided my mother with how to operate my streaming program, we had very minimal issues overall. I didn't need continuous battery life. One of the first things I realized when we started putting this whole process together was the fact that the batteries on my 2 cameras lasted long enough when streaming that I wouldn't need a plug-in battery substitute. That the charge that they get from their regular battery would be sufficient enough to get us through the ceremony. Of course, if you are streaming your entire wedding, including a reception and dance, you're definitely going to need a plug-in battery source. Another thing you might want to also check is how well your camera does. Simply set up your equipment and start streaming random parts of your house to a test server just to make sure that nothing overheats. Test it again. No matter what we did, there was always something a little bit different, and each time that we did a test run, we found something that we could change or tweak to make everything a little bit better. And I mean, who doesn't want to get it as good as you can for a wedding? One of the next things that came up out of this was the fact that I learned I need to do some upgrades, but not to the things that I thought I needed to upgrade. I learned that I actually have a way more stable internet connection than what I've sometimes experienced while streaming in the past for video games and stuff over at twitch.tv/crownesso. The setup I have here in the studio where I divide my internet, I'm on the fence right now about, do I need to upgrade my splitter for the internet, or should I just be running full-length cables from my main router to my different devices that need internet access to stream video content? Either one of those options might provide me with a more stable connection for when I'm playing my games and trying to have fun sharing that with my community. So it's always good to make sure you double check and read through descriptions online before you press that add to cart button. Now, because I was pretty new to involving cameras in live streaming at the start of this whole process, one of the things that did nip me in the butt was not double checking on certain descriptions. I found the 2 cameras I use through different communities and different content creators that I follow. One of the links that I followed took me to an HDMI connection for cameras that didn't actually work for these cameras that I ordered. It worked for a different camera that was suggested in the same video. And I ended up having to return those 2 cables and ordering the correct sizes in a mad rush coming up to the wedding day. I also learned while doing research that not all HDMI extension cables are created equal. A friend of mine needed to buy boosters in order to make his work. Another friend of mine had to buy a cable that had a booster built into it to reach the distances that he wanted. Now, I got lucky and I ordered 2 50-foot cables, one for each of my cameras, plus the 10 feet of cable that converted from a micro HDMI to a full-size HDMI. And my cables were able to take the full HD signal and run it all the way back to my computer to be streamed out into the internet. I'll put a link down in the description for those cables if you guys are interested in checking them out. Recently, my wife got herself a Dad's Class sweater in this beautiful pink color. And you can get yourself one of these too. Links to our merchandise shop are down in the description of every episode, whether it's a Top 5 Tuesday or a podcast episode. Go ahead, show the world that you've partaken in a Dad's Class, and help support our project. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have any suggestions for things you would like to see covered here on the Dad's Class YouTube channel. And I will see you guys next time.